Cool. So the name of this presentation is How to Solve Your Biggest Problems with Windows 8. I am David Shafiro. I'm the owner and managing member of Layer 2 Computers. I work out of Springboro, so right down the highway a little bit. I've been in business for 8 years now, and here's my little computer chip logo that I like. And then I've been on Angie's List, the Super Service Award winner for 2 years in a row now, so I'm pleased with that. And the company, it's just me, and I have an assistant who kind of helps me with the office-y side of things. So just a small little company there. So as I said, my name's David. I've been doing computer stuff. I built my first computer when I was like 13. I've always enjoyed computers, and I like the technology behind it, and I enjoyed new fancy technology too, so I'm guilty of buying stuff before it's stable and good. I took a bunch of classes for computer stuff, and I discovered that when you take a class in college for computers, by the end of the 4 years, it's useless. So I stopped that and did a bunch of business stuff that I found more interesting. And then basically I started the business right out of high school. My dad got laid off, and I never wanted to have someone lay me off, and so I started my own thing. So it's been working well. So kind of the agenda today, we're going to just go over a couple little slides, like I said, and then from there, we're going to jump right into Windows 8, and I have a big list of stuff I'm going to go over and kind of show you how to do stuff. And then from there, we'll kind of open up to some questions, and we'll kind of take it from there. And hopefully, I think we'll be right around an hour by then. Hopefully, you guys will learn at least a couple things you guys don't know. I'm pretty sure you'll learn quite a bit. It's packed full of information, and hopefully, you'll get something from it. So. There we go. Okay. Wrong one. Okay. Oh, my slide got a little messed up there. Okay, so just a little overview here. The biggest changes that came with Windows 8 were the modern user interface, and I put that in quotes because they're actually going back a step with Windows 10, so they're going back a little bit for that. There's no official start menu in Windows 8 by default, and then the Windows Store apps, kind of like if you guys have smartphones, kind of like the App Store, whether it be on Android or iPhone, they have like an App Store now versus like the traditional go to the store and buy the CD kind of thing. So that was a big change. And then also OneDrive, which we'll go into a little more detail on, but it's essentially like a cloud service that's provided by Microsoft, and what they do is they basically allow you to synchronize your files between one computer and another computer, and also back them up, that sort of stuff. So those were kind of like the biggest things. There's obviously hundreds of different items that changed in Windows 8, but those are the key ones that I always get a lot of questions about. Okay. So Windows 8 versus Windows 8.1. Does anyone know if they have Windows 8.1? Okay. Good. Does anyone know if they still have Windows 8? Like just Windows 8 by itself? Okay. All right. Cool. So you got a couple people with that. Okay. So the upgrade to Windows 8.1, it's a free upgrade. It's found in the Microsoft App Store, basically. If you don't have it, what you would, I can show you how to do that, but there's basically a little store icon, and you would click on that, and then from there, it makes it big and apparent. You can't miss it. It's like the only thing on the screen at that point. But once you go to the store, then it's just a free upgrade. They just require you to sign in with your account that you have with them. 8.1 also introduced basically a lot of bug fixes that made everything a lot more stable. Windows 8, when it first came out, if it crashed, you would get this little blue screen with a little frowny face on it, and basically said that it was restarting. So Windows 8.1 helped with that. It's a little more friendly, well, actually significantly more friendly than Windows 8 when it first came out. Less bugs. There is a start button type option, and then the battery life improved dramatically from Windows 8 to Windows 8.1. So if you had a laptop, it was actually a lot more functional. So. Okay, there we go. Okay. So a good way to tell if you have Windows 8.1 is if you're on the desktop and you have a start button, like that guy, that means you have Windows 8.1. If you don't have that little button there, it means something, Windows 8.1 isn't installed for, and it could be a couple of reasons. The hardware wouldn't take the upgrade. Basically, your computer might have been not older, but it could have just been not as good as Windows 8.1 required, or it could have just been it wasn't done because you didn't know any better. That's what I've discovered a lot of the cases are. It's just you didn't know that you had to upgrade or how to upgrade. So, and I'll show you how to do that, like I said. Okay, any questions up until that point? Just kind of a brief overview before we jump into the fun stuff. It is, all right. And don't be afraid to just, raise your hand, whatever. So we'll go from there. Okay, cool. So now, oh, and just so you guys know, so I have a MacBook here. Actually, it's like an Apple computer, but then I have Windows 8 installed, so that's why I'm able to kind of, being the geek, I kind of got a couple. I got Windows 10 on there, Windows 8, Windows 7, and then the Mac operating system. So a little bit of everything. So gotta be able to do everything, so I gotta learn it all. So it's good. Cool. So, and this, I just installed this last night, so this is what a new computer would generally look like. So when you first turn on to Windows 8, it's going to, do you guys have Microsoft accounts? Like, did you create a Microsoft account to use with your Windows 8 computer? Yeah, some people did. Okay. All right. No? Okay. Or you don't know if you did? Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So a good way to know that would be if a Microsoft is basically what's going to kind of unify everything from Microsoft between now and moving forward. It's building out for the future for them. And the way you know if you're on a Microsoft account is if you click on your name at the top of the screen here, and well, let me just, all right. I don't want to sign out of mine because it might take a little bit to load, but if you sign out, then it will say your email address as opposed to just your name. If it says just your name, then you're on what they call a local account, and if it says your email address, then you're on what they call a Microsoft account. And you want to use a Microsoft account ideally. The benefit there is it will help kind of synchronize stuff, or if the computer explodes or dies, you could log in on a different computer, and then all of your stuff would be there, is kind of the theory behind that. So. Yep, I'll show you. I can probably log out here. Well, I'll just lock it. There we go. See if it'll do it. Okay. So, okay, yeah, when you first turn on Windows 8, you're going to get a screen kind of like this. It might have like a family picture or some other picture in it. But essentially from there, if you click your mouse, or you can swipe up from it, you'll get, see how it says my email address right there, David at Layer 2 Computers. I'm logged into my Microsoft account with my work address, email address essentially. But yours might be, a Gmail account. You could have an Outlook account. You could have a Hotmail account. You could use an AOL account. You could use a Yahoo account. It doesn't matter. Any email account will work as a Microsoft account for that. So let me get logged in there. Okay, cool. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But if we're not?
If you're not, yeah. So what you would do, if you are at this screen, which we're gonna cover this a little differently later too, but if you go under Settings, and I'll explain that whole bar, but you go under Settings on the side, and then from there, I do a different. You're going to learn with Windows 8. There's 100 ways to do one thing. You can get in through Settings. I believe if you're on a local account, it's actually going to pop up when you go under Settings, and it's going to ask you to switch over. The other thing that you would do is if you're just at your start screen, which we're going to explain how the search works and everything, but you could just start typing users, and then from there you can manage your account, and in that it will allow you to switch it over. I did that change last night. For some reason I created a local account accidentally when I was first loading it up here, but then it pops up and it says, well, what do you want to do? You have the option to create another account, or you can change over to a Microsoft account. So, which the version I'm running is an enterprise. So it's gonna, if you ever see it pop up and say it's not activated, it's because it's not. I didn't activate it yet, so it's an enterprise version that I was trying out. So Windows 8. Does anyone have touchscreens for their Windows 8 computers? Okay, maybe. Okay. You would know pretty quickly if you just took your fingers on your screen and it moved around, which I do not have a touchscreen, so I'm just putting fingerprints on my screen. But there's a couple ways to interact with Windows 8. You have a mouse and keyboard, which is standard and traditional, and then you have you have a stylus, like it's kind of like a pen that works on the touch screens also, and then you can just use your fingers. Windows 8 is essentially built mostly for like a touch screen type interface, but you can definitely use a mouse and keyboard. It's no big deal, and that's what I'm going to use this whole time. And I'll try to explain it both ways for the people who have a touch screen if you choose to use that. So when you first boot up, you're going to get this nice Windows 8 start screen, start menu as they call it. When I saw that, I initially freaked out, as I'm assuming most of you guys did too. It kind of panics you if you've never seen it before, and you log in, you're like, hey, computer, and you want a desktop, and you get this. So it's a little scary, and we're going to kind of go over how to manipulate that and stuff. So within the start screen here, you have your main apps and everything that you can customize this, and we're going to show you how to do that. And then if you click this little arrow, that's like your all programs. And it's basically just sorted alphabetically. And you have the option to scroll through them and select different stuff that you want. So that's how that works. And then you can hit this little arrow to go back. Then, a little fast. I'm going to be covering a lot. I'm recording the presentation, so I'm going to email it out afterwards. I'm going to go a little fast probably today, strictly because I have a lot of stuff that I want to at least cram in here and hopefully answer some questions. I will try to slow down a little bit, though, for the main stuff. But yeah, just flag me down if you have a specific question or to slow down or go over something again. I definitely can. So on the start screen, these are called tiles. They're not icons, they're tiles. And they're alive, and they're flickering, and they're doing different things. You have your news app. Here's a store I was talking about. The stock market is always good. You got a calendar, mail, all that fun stuff on there. So you can access any of your apps from this screen. Or if they're not on there, then you would just go down to, click the little arrow at the bottom, and then it brings up the whole list of them. So that's how you could find another app. Mm-hmm. Yep, I will show you that. Yep, I promise. Yep, we'll address that. Yeah. Yep. So think of these as like the tiles. Think of them sort of as icons, but they're not. They're alive icons. They're awake and they're useful. They're not just like a little picture that you click on that will do stuff for you. So yes.
You can slide them around too. So if ones you like better.
Yep, we're gonna do that later. Yep. Definitely. Yep. No, you're good. No worries. Yeah. So on the Windows 8 has like if you drag up to one corner versus another corner, you'll get different options. So over this corner up here at the top right, you're going to get what's called a charm bar. And over here, in different apps, it's going to be different things. But on the main start screen, you're going to have a search, which allows you to search your computer, share, which allows you to kind of share between like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all that kind of stuff if you have that all enabled. And then you have an actual start, which will bring you back to this screen. And then devices and printers, or devices, that's going to show any printers that you have installed, or if you have like a phone plugged in, or if you have anything like that. And then the last one is your little settings box, and that's where you're going to be able to access a lot of the computer settings and stuff like that. So, and you can access the charm bar by either bringing your mouse to the upper right corner, or by taking your finger if you have a touchscreen and just swiping from the side, and it'll do the same thing. So. So let's we're going to go over making this thing look a little more useful for you. So like I said, I installed this last night, so this is what you get right out of the box. So I'm going to go in and tweak a little bit to fit me, and I'll explain as I go. So is my head in the way? Okay. So let's say I wanted this news app over here. So what you can do is, and you can either tap and drag, or if you're using your finger, you can just poke it and then drag it somewhere. So you can grab it, and then it pulls itself forward, and everything pauses, and you can rearrange these. So if, as you were saying, if you like looking at the news a little bit earlier or quicker on your home page, you can drag it more to the left side there. Or if, let's say, well, I really don't want this, I don't really want the calendar thing. If you right-click on them, you can actually remove them. And I get that question a lot of, how do you clean this thing up? Because it's cluttered sometimes. So if you right-click on any item, you can then basically unpin it from start. And it's probably hard to read up on the screen here, but the very top option is unpin from start. And what that does is it basically just hides it. So it just got rid of that. So that's something that I get a lot of questions about. Now let's say we wanted that back, we accidentally got rid of it. What we can do is if we go down to our little arrow down there in the very bottom corner here, we can find our little calendar, and we can right-click on it and then go pin to start. So now we're going to throw it back over there, and there it is. So you can rearrange stuff to how you like it and what you need. And essentially, if I had 10 minutes to sit here, I would probably get rid of everything I didn't want or I didn't use. There's no need to keep clutter on here. It doesn't hurt anything, but it just clutters up your mind, in my opinion. So, and now the other thing you can do on here is you can resize stuff. So let's go to this news tile here. So we have different options with the news tile. So if you right-click on it again, or if you poke and hold with your finger, you can go to resize, and then you can go to medium, and then it'll make it just a small, and then you'll get one little thing, a little picture of the day. Or we can resize it and go to wide, if we just want something a little wider. So depending on how much you like that program or that app, you can decide how big you want it. So that's kind of cool. And the bigger it is, the more information it's going to be able to hold, and it's going to be able to push to you, which is really neat. So if you wanted a bigger stock thing, you could do that. So you could essentially type in your whole portfolio into there, and you could have it kind of tracking all stocks you care about. If you got Microsoft shares or Apple shares or whatever, you could have it show you as soon as you turn the computer on, which is really useful. That's pretty cool. So yeah, okay. So that's pretty much like anything that's on that screen, it's going to be there, and if it's not there, then it's just going to be to the right. So let's go over here. I don't have too much on here, but on the right-hand side over here, let's say this is a little app, and I'll show you how to get this. It's really cool. It's called Flipboard, and what it is it's essentially like an electronic magazine, and it's pretty cool. I sit on the couch and read it on my phone, but it synchronizes to here through my account with them, which I'm on the internet, but I don't know if it's going to load just because I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is here. Doesn't look like it. So, needless to say, the news should load up there. I'm guessing it's not too happy, so we'll just leave that one be. We'll go over that. Okay. We'll look at the other stuff here, though. But let's say I wanted Flipboard to be a little bigger. Once again, you can right-click on it and resize. I'm going to make it large, and then we can drag this over here. I'm going to throw the calendar over there. Oh, I love to know what the weather is when I wake up in the morning, so I'm going to throw that right there. So you can just very easily take these and just drag them around. So it's just essentially clicking your left mouse and then dragging them wherever you want. Yes?
Flipboard and one of the apps?
Yep, I'll show you how to get apps later. Yep, we're going to go over that, definitely. Yep. Oh, there, it loaded up something. Yay. Okay. So within Flipboard, it's very cool. But you can select different categories. Like I have technology and investing and travel and all that fun stuff. And then it basically pulls up the highlighted articles of the day or of the week or whatever and throws them in there. It's cool. And we'll go over that in more detail. So anything on the start screen here is going to be the apps. Like the newer version where Microsoft is going, where everyone you have to acquire them through the App Store. And the App Store, let's go ahead and look at that guy. So the App Store, it's generally a giant green tile, and you most of the time can't miss it. So it's this guy right here. And this is where if you just have the Windows 8 and not Windows 8.1, this is where you would do that upgrade. And within the App Store, okay, good, it's going to load. Okay, cool. So within the App Store, you're initially going to be brought to a home screen here. And this is where it's basically telling you, like, it's kind of like the equivalent. Do you guys have any iPads or tablets or iPad or iPhones and a Kindle? Okay, and they have a little app store on there, and the Kindle Fire and stuff does. Anytime you have an app store, this is Microsoft's equivalent to like the App Store on Google or on an Apple device. So this is their equivalent. Within here, you have the option to purchase apps, or I think there's something like 800,000 apps on here. So pretty much anything you want, you can find at this point. Within here, you have a bunch of different options to find stuff. And me and my wife like to watch Netflix. So, okay, I see a little Netflix app right there. But if it wasn't there or you couldn't find it, you could just type at the top here, and you could say Netflix. Does anyone have Netflix in here? Okay, I want to make sure I'm going over something. Okay, somewhat relevant. Okay. Does anyone use Hulu? Hulu, a little lesser known. Okay, no one has that one. Okay, that's fine. All right. So under Netflix here, you would search for your app at the top here, or you could search for something like you could search for movies or Netflix directly, or you could just search for like streaming or some kind of keyword like that. And this is going to basically search the whole app store for different things that you want. So in order to install it, all we do is we click on Netflix. And then we click on it, install at the top. And because it's a free one, it doesn't require any credit card information or anything like that. So I'm going to go and click on install, and we'll see if that loads up over the Wi-Fi here. Maybe. We might have to come back to that and let it do its thing. Okay, while that's doing its thing, I've covered a lot so far. I want to leave time for questions. Does anyone have any questions over like the main start menu and stuff like that at the moment? Or any questions, comments? Yes.
I initially had, Windows 8, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But after a period of time, it said that no longer, my email would no longer work.
Pop up through it?
So I
Okay.
said, go contact your browser, it will not allow you. So I ended up calling Microsoft.
Okay.
And what they had to do was put the old start button icon.
On the computer.
On my phone, and then put the Gmail
Okay.
up at the top, so it would completely bypass.
Their mail app that's in there.
If I accidentally hit that, it would tell me that same thing. So
It would freak
it's
out.
functioning.
Yeah, the mail app, and that might be part of the email issues that you were having over here too. We can look at that in a little more in depth, but yeah, the mail app.
I mean, I work it the other way.
Yeah.
It's not definitely.
Yeah, Microsoft is kind of, because the Windows 10 is coming out in July potentially, so July or August, and so they've pretty much ceased development of Windows 8. They haven't been like making any big changes or anything like that, and so there's going to be some little weird things that happen like that, where stuff doesn't work. But yeah,
I'm just thinking.
yeah, totally. The mail app specifically, I think, causes a lot of people headaches because it's just so drastically different, and I think that's probably what's going on with you too. Yeah, it messes with people. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Does it? Yeah, if you're not connected to the internet, it's probably just going to pop up with like a giant green screen, and there's not going to be anything listed there. That would make sense, yeah. Which they do have Wi-Fi here, so technically you could connect. So yeah. Okay, so we got the little Netflix app installed, and by default, it's just going to throw it on this side over here. But let's say I watch it every night. I want to move it to the right because I'm going to be clicking on it a lot. So we can just drag it over, throw it wherever. We'll put it right there. Why not? That's a good spot. So then from there, within Netflix, I would just click on there and launch it, and I could watch all my movies and stuff. So that'd be cool. Now, let's say, have you guys ever gotten somewhere and completely gotten stuck before? Like where you're like, how do I get out of here kind of thing? It happens occasionally, especially with the new operating system a little bit, because there's not a traditional X at the top right up here where there normally was like an X. So you have some different options to get out of stuff, because as you know, with Windows 8, there's 100 ways to do one thing. So let's say we're looking at the weather for today, and it's just flatlining at 50. See if it loads up here. Essentially, though, oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, it's going. Need some cool hold music. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so we are looking at the weather for Kettering. And the cool thing about the weather app, actually, it uses your GPS location in the computer. So if I'm here and then I turn the computer off and I fly to Arizona, and then I turn my computer on, it's going to be like, oh, you're in Arizona now, and it'll pull up the weather there, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So within any app that takes up the full screen like this, to get out of it, you have a couple of options. You can either drag your mouse or take your finger to the very top there. And it's kind of hard to see on the projector, but there's a little tiny red X up here. If you were to click on that, that will actually close out the app and bring you back to your start screen. So we'll poke that. And it'll bring you to, depending on what version of Windows and how much you've updated, it'll bring you to their desktop or the start screen here. So that's how you close out of it that way. The other option, yes? Yeah, the little X at the top. Yeah, so you just basically drag your mouse to the very top corner. Yep. And within Windows 8.1, that will work on any app that takes up the full screen like this. So like I said, just drag it to the top, and it should appear. Yep. Now the other option is you can take your mouse. And it's a little hard this would be for like a touch screen. But if you take your finger and you drag down from the top, it's going to turn into like this little window here. And you basically have to drag it way down. Okay, yeah, see. It's kind of a pain in the butt with a mouse. Needless to say, if you take your finger from the top and you swipe it straight down, you'll actually throw it away and close the application, which is kind of cool. But since I'm not a touchscreen, I don't think it's going to let me. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it closed out. So if you take your finger from the top and just drag it down, that's another way to close out. And then the other way which is super easy, is the Windows key. Pew. Yeah. Everyone should have a Windows key on their computer. It's like the, it's a little Windows icon. It's like 4 little squares. I'm assuming, do you guys see it? If you have your computer here, do you see it? Yeah. Which I didn't have a picture. Oh wait, no, I have a picture of that. It looks remotely like, it looks remotely like that, but it's a physical button on your keyboard. So it's just a 4 little tile button. This is called the Windows key. And if you're ever panicking and you hit that, that will bring you back to somewhere where you're familiar. That's like the little help button kind of thing. So let me jump back over. Okay, cool. So yep, like I said, if you're in here, you can do the X at the top, or you can swipe down, or you can just hit the Windows key. And the Windows key is generally the easiest way. It'll just get you right back to your start screen there. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, do you have a question? It has a lot of functionality, but that's like the main thing. Like you could do like Windows key R and that will pop up a dialog to like run something, or Windows key P will allow you to switch between, I don't know if it'll let me on here. Yeah, it probably won't. But Windows key P like switches between like 2 monitors or a projector. Windows key and something else will always do something. So you don't want to just like just like poking buttons because you'll mess something up. But I don't have one, but yeah, there are. There's a Windows 8 hotkey list that Microsoft put out. I don't have a pen up here, but can you remember that, Alicia?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, perfect. That's my wife, by the way, Alicia. She's along for the ride this morning and was promised lunch. Yeah. So, yep, okay. So, I'm trying to think, where are we? Okay. Okay. We've gone over quite a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
There's an escape button too when you're in your pictures.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can escape, sometimes it won't let you.
Yeah, and that's why the Windows key will always work. It'll always bring you back to like something else. So in fact, let's look at the Pictures app because a lot of people are wondering about that. So has anyone used the Pictures app or been familiar with it or tried to use it and got a little confused, that kind of stuff? Okay. So within the Photos, I call it Photos, once you click on it, it's going to bring up all of the pictures on your computer, and I don't have that much on here right now. So you get the screen that's kind of freaky because it's blank and there's not much to do. Whenever you're in any app, and this goes for the Netflix app, or it goes for Flipboard, or it goes for the weather, or it goes for photos, or email, this is where the email question will come in. If you right-click on anywhere in the app, you're going to get this little box, you're going to get this little bar down here. There's no official name for it other than the bar. Within this bar, that's going to have all the different options and different settings that you have. So let me address that really fast on some other screens. Okay, their exit didn't work. So let's say we're on the News app. If we, it won't let me yet. Okay, it still has to load. All right. And as you can see, Windows 8 is very dependent on having an internet connection. If you don't have an internet connection, a lot of stuff is useless. It just kind of sits there. So it's very important to have an internet connection with Windows 8. A fast internet connection, hopefully. Yeah. But you know, I think it's fair to expect all those people that were out in the hallway there probably online on their cell phones and stuff. So, okay, so here's a News app over here. So if we right-click, oh, don't make me a liar now. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if we right-click, what's going to happen is it's going to bring up all the different settings and options within the app, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be specific for that app. So let's say the News app here, we can select what news channels we want to get news from, or what newspaper. We can also change the sources. We can video. We can change the text size if it's too small for you and you're having trouble reading it. Within any app from the Microsoft Store, there's always going to be a right-click options, and that's what all these are. So a lot of people are wondering, like, how do I make the text bigger? How do I do that? Generally, if you right-click, that's what's going to give you the options to do everything you need to do there. So, and you really can't hurt anything just by right-clicking. So don't be afraid to right-click away and see what's there. So, all right. So let's Windows key to get back. Okay. And then where were we? We were under Photos. Yeah, there we go. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. So photos. We'll throw that over here since I'll be in and out there. So under photos here, we have just the picture library. So what that means is it's all the pictures on the computer that are in your pictures folder. So if something goes wrong, if they're all in one place, we can easily find them is kind of the goal there. But within here, I have mine sorted. In this case, my 1 year worth of photos here, and this is me and my wife's trip to Peru that we went on. So if you click on, it's going to be either like it's either going to be labeled, it's labeled however you put it on the computer. So if you put it on and you labeled it like Florida vacation, or 2014, or David, or something, whatever you label it as, it's going to show up in here. So in this case, I just labeled it the year. And then I'm going to click on that. And then within here, again, there's more folders within there. So think of this as like a hierarchy. So the first one is 2014. Then under there, I have these different folders, which there's dated. So I have 2014, 07, 27, 2014, 08, 01. That's just how they came into my computer. It's going to come into your computer different depending on how you transfer your photos in. But generally, when you plug like your camera in, it's going to pop up and say, what do you want to do? And then you just click import, and it will allow you to label them and bring it all in there. So within our little pictures here, we'll go to Machu Picchu. And so once you click into here, then you can click on a picture and you can view it. And then you have all sorts of fun options here. Now it looks like there's nothing on the screen, right? But if we right click, now we can edit, crop, delete. We can share it if we go from the charm bar. So that comes in from the right top, hopefully. I have a hard time on mine sometimes. There we go, okay. So if we click on share, that's where we could email it out. We could share it to Facebook. We could put it on LinkedIn. We could put it on Twitter. You can do whatever you want. So from there, like I said, that's the charm bar. So again, you would just swipe in from the right side of your screen, or you take your mouse to the upper right corner and drag it down, and it should pop up there. And then from there, we could also, if we right-click again, we can set it as the desktop, the lock screen. We could make a slideshow. We can rotate it. You can do all sorts of fun stuff within the Photos app. So it's actually quite a powerful editor. If you want to like crop someone out of a picture, or if you want to, you got a graduation picture for someone that you want to send an email to them or whatever, you could email it to them via that share button on the side that pops up from the charm bar. You can edit, you can crop, all sorts of fun stuff. So, yeah. So Yep.
In email, how do you get a picture from email to there?
There's probably a right-click menu in there. We can look at that, yeah. We'll look at the Mail app in a little bit. Yep. We definitely will. And now to get back out of this, you can scroll through your pictures. There's a tiny little arrow here. You can scroll through your pictures by either clicking that, or if you're a touchscreen, you can throw it to the side and it'll go over. Or you can use like the little arrows on your keyboard. That will also allow you to kind of get between your photos and stuff like that. So there's Miss Alicia looking at me like I'm crazy because I forced her to hike up a mountain.
Super early today. Like 3 a.m. to get up the mountain.
Yeah, it was fun. It was rough. So to get like back a step in the Photos program or the Photos app, you can hit Escape and that will bring you back one. If you're in like your photos, hit Escape and that'll bring you back there. Then you can also hit the little arrow up here at the top. I don't want to be up there in that corner over there. That will allow you to kind of bounce between your photos here. So if you want to look at those ones, you can. And here's on the hike we went on. So it's good fun. So any questions within the Photo app itself? It's very powerful, but it's a little bit challenging to get used to. But once you kind of figure it out, it does make a lot of sense. So, okay, so let's go out of here. We're going to hit the Windows key again, and that will bring us, go ahead.
Can you export from this menu?
Directly from there? That's a good question. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can figure it out. I wonder if there's something under Share, maybe. No, I have nothing linked up on my account. Good question. I don't think so from this interface. Yeah, I don't think you can like move them onto a CD or something. Yeah.
from the desktop.
Yeah, you'd have to do it from the desktop, which we're going to look at in a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, so the question was, can you take pictures like onto a flash drive or like burn them onto a CD kind of thing? From here, no, you can't, but there are other spots you can do that from. So, okay. So let's look. Let me see here. Okay. Let's move on really fast to searching on a Windows 8 computer, because anything that searching is super, super powerful in Windows 8. It's a great little tool that they built in, and it searches everything on the computer. So it could find pictures, it could find documents, it will search within documents, it will find websites, it will find different apps that you have, it will find everything on the computer. Instead of having to, like, let's say you had a bunch of icons across the top here, and you're like, I know there is my map software somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. What you can do is you can just search for it. You can just start typing just on the screen. Just go maps. And then, oh, if I could spell right. So when I type in maps, and you just start typing just on the screen, you don't have to hit the search button itself, but then it'll bring you up with whatever it finds with maps. Or if you're wondering, if say I wanted to find PowerPoint, you just type in PowerPoint right there. So it's an easy way to find applications or documents or something like that. You don't have to right-click or anything. You could hit this little search button up there if you want to, the little magnifying glass. That'll bring up the same concept. Or you could just be at this screen and just without clicking anything, you just start typing. You just start typing or whatever, and it'll search everything on your computer. So, and then if it can't find anything on your computer, then it goes to the internet, and it'll also search different apps. It'll kind of search the whole Microsoft ecosystem for whatever you're trying to find. If it can't find it on your computer, it'll find it somewhere. So. But let's go under maps here. So after you pull it up here, let's say I wanted to make sure that was pinned to my start menu. Oh, it is already. I could right click on it, and then I can hit pin to start, because I'm always using the Maps app. So let's say you want directions and stuff like that. It's really powerful for that. It does a good job here. So we'll kind of browse around, and once again, requires an internet connection, and it loaded. Yay, okay, cool. So within your little Maps app here, you can get directions, you can do all sorts of fun stuff there. So it'll save you time from having to go to like MapQuest or Google Maps or something. You just type in, here we go, yep. Let's say we're going to my parents' gymnastics facility in Springboro. We can just type that in, and there we go. So, oh, there's a preschool room, okay. So, but it has reviews, it has a phone number. Very, very powerful for just finding locations and stores and stuff like that. If you ever need a phone number for anything, this is really good to look at. It'll give you a good overview there. And then you can also hit directions, and you can type where you are, or it will use your GPS location and find you, and get you there. And then you can print those off, obviously. So then once again, to get back, just the Windows key. It'll save your butt every time. So now here's our little Maps app. So if we wanted to get rid of that again, remember you can right-click on it, then go to Unpin from Start, and it just hides it from there. So, okay, now something really cool, which some of you have probably gotten into an accident and had no idea what was going on, but they call it split screen. Have you ever seen that in Windows 8, where it has like one screen is something and the other side is something else? It's super duper useful, but it's odd if you've never used it before. So let's think here. Let me open up something that's actually going to make sense. Let's say we're on Internet Explorer here. And so we're browsing my website right here. And then let's say we wanted to get, nope. Let's see if it'll do it for me. I had a little trouble last night with this too. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if you bring your mouse, so the right side is going to be the charm bar. The left side, that's the left side.
You're opposite of us.
Yeah, I'm opposite of you. The other side. So I guess that's your left? Yeah. Yeah, okay. That side, the other side. You're going to have it's basically going to list all the apps you have open. And you can get to this from any point in Windows. So it could be from any other app, or it could be from your desktop. And from in here, what you can do is let's take the weather also. So we're going to grab a little weather app over here and just kind of follow the mouse on the screen, and then we drag it out onto the main screen. And then what's going to happen is from there we can throw it to one of the sides. So we can either throw it that way. Oh, well, I just did it. Okay. So now it's going to reload the weather over here. Okay, no, it dropped a degree. All right, and then we can also browse the internet over here. So on a smaller screen, you could have like 2 things open. On a bigger screen, you could have 5 things open. So you could be looking at the weather, you could have your stocks open, you could have your stock market trading software open, you could have your email open on another little thing, and have them all in separate little columns on here. And you can make them, you can resize them, you can change them. So we'll throw that guy there, then we'll make the website a little bigger. Or if we want to make the website tiny, which not too functional at this point, but you see the point. You see the concept there. It's pretty cool because then you can have one thing open and have another thing open. You can kind of bounce between them. Like let's open up the stocks app, for example. Let's go back Windows key down, and then we'll go over here. We'll open this up. I'll put it right there. So when you open up an app after a split screen, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to decide where you want to put it. And so once again, if the internet connection catches up, spinning. I like to call that the roller coaster because it's kind of like, woo-wah! I don't know, I think it's funny. It's a little roller coaster guy. Yes?
Can you do 2 emails? Like, I have a lot of letter writing
Mm-hmm.
to do, and it would be handy not to have to keep popping back and forth, you know?
Good question. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, look. I'm not sure. So this is our little stock apps here, and within this app, we'll go over, whoa, I clicked on something. So within the little stock app, we can, it looks like it has a little news, or we can just look at the default little things here where we can, here's where you can edit and change your little watch list and stuff going on. Whoa, hello. There we go, okay. So let's say you're looking at this, and then you want to also look at the news for something. You can pull up, I want the, I don't know. You could just search on your browser for an Apple stock or something like that, or Microsoft or whatever, and you can kind of get a little more detailed information about whatever they're doing or their news and stuff. So it gives you a good way to like compare and contrast, or write an email in a Word document, or copy from a Word document into an email. You can do all sorts of fun stuff like that. So it's a very, very powerful feature. Once you get used to it and you kind of figure out how it works, it's really, really nice though. So any questions with the split screen stuff? Yeah? No? Okay. Has anyone ever used it before? Has anyone accidentally used it before? There you go. All right. I knew you guys have. All right. Yeah, everyone gets in there and they're like, oh, what? Yeah. But it's pretty cool because you can let's say I don't want that anymore. I can just drag the little middle bar there. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging on this little middle bar. I'm just going to throw it to the side. So we're going to drag it over there. And then my Yahoo page is going to be bigger again. And then let's say I wanted, let's see if it'll let me. It doesn't like me right now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's say, I don't know, you could even pull up your desktop on half the screen. So now I got my desktop over here and my web browsing over there. That's really useful. I could see that being useful. You could have a Word document open there and, doing your research online over there. So, or if you're just looking at Menard's website and you want to know if they have something, you could have a picture of the part or whatever you want, and then you could have the website open there. So it's very, very cool. So now, like I said, to get out of it, all you have to do is the Windows key doesn't work in this case because it's just going to bounce you between there and then your split screen. So that won't save you. So what you have to do is you have to just grab the little middle bar here, and then you just kind of throw it to the side, and then you're back at like a one app view of stuff there. So, and then you can hit the Windows key and bounce between them. So. Does that make a little more sense for people about the split screen stuff? I hope it does. Yeah, it's a really, really, really cool feature. It's very useful. So, has anyone had trouble turning off their Windows 8 computer? It's not as much of a pain in the butt anymore, but on Windows 8 when it first came out, did anyone get it when it first came out? Whether it be purposefully or accidentally? Okay. Yeah, because sometimes, like when a computer died, the Windows 8 ones were a heck of a lot cheaper than the Windows 7, and so you went with the Windows 8 ones. But now there is a fancy little start button up here, like the power button. That used to not be there. So that was like the biggest question I would get in my email like every day. How do I turn my computer off? So to turn off Windows 8, you have this little guy right there. So you have a little power button, and if you click on that, that will bring you up with some options. You can put to sleep, shut down, restart, that sort of stuff. The other way is if you bring up the little charms bar, and again by swiping from the, I guess, yeah, the right side for you guys. Okay, the right side, and you go to settings. Boink. Under the settings, and then there's another power button right here. And if you click that, it'll give you options of if you want to shut down or restart and that sort of thing. Okay, so that's how you would shut it down. And then once you turn it back on, it'll just bring you in and ask you for your password again. Just that little screen with a cool little wavy thing on it.
How do you get into like deleting your cookies?
Yeah. Well, good question. Yeah, for deleting cookies and stuff, my other presentation goes into a lot more detail on that, but there's a bunch of different apps you can get to do that. Or Windows itself does have something that will kind of help you. I'm going to email out the other presentation with it. I think that would probably make more sense coming from that presentation. So yeah. Do you have a question back there?
I just didn't hear the question.
Oh yeah, it was how do you clean off like cookies and kind of that stuff. There's a great little program that it's just a free little app. You can get it from the App Store too, I think now. It's called CCleaner, and that's a good little program to use that will go in and get rid of stuff. But my other presentation goes into a lot more detail there, and I want to jump to that topic because it could last 10, 15 minutes. So, okay. So, that covers this whole thing, this little start screen and everything in there. I mean, we're still going to look at the Mail app. I didn't forget about that. That covers pretty much everything that you're going to encounter, whether it be on purpose or an accident. A lot of people on Windows 8, if they just they'll be moving their mouse around and then something will happen randomly. Like I said, the Windows key will save your butt every time. If you hit the Windows key, it will bounce between what you had and what your start menu is. So it'll kind of allow you to switch between those, which is very useful. So now we're going to go to the desktop view. So within the desktop here, that's going to bring up like the traditional desktop-looking screen of what everyone is generally used to at this point. Microsoft has been using it since Windows 90 or Windows 3.1 technically. They've had a desktop-like interface here. It's very, very useful. It's very, sadly Microsoft, they went away from it and now they're coming back to it because people freaked out and they like this type of interface. So yeah, so if Windows 8 panics you, don't stress too much because Windows 10, and I'll actually show you Windows 10, I got it on here too. It's a little more friendly, I guess would be the way to put it. So over here on your desktop, this is where if you wanted to burn a CD or something, you would click on the little Explorer down here. Now, let me close out that guy because he's useless. This will bring up it's not called My Computer or Computer anymore, they call it This PC. That will bring up these options here. That's where all your pictures are stored. So there's my little photos I had there, and then if I had music on here, it would all be in the music folder. So if you wanted to burn a CD, you would do that from there. And do we want to go over burning a CD and stuff? Is that something? I don't want to. Okay. Yep. So a little folder button right in the corner there. It's hard to see on the projector, but it's always right near the little start button down there. That will bring up this guy, which is kind of like this computer or my computer is kind of what it is. It's called Windows Explorer, and that's what just brings all that stuff up. So.
Can you go into download?
Yeah, sure. I don't think I have anything in there right now, but yeah. Oh, no, I do. Oh, yeah, I got everything from my other one. Okay, yeah. So.
If you, I have the two sequences.
Okay, yep.
So
Oh, okay, yeah.
you've shown how to delete.
Yeah.
I would only want to delete one.
Yep. So if you right click on a file and then you have your little delete button right there.
Okay.
Yep.
The right click, I've never really used the right click.
Yeah, the right click is super useful. That's what extends everything in a Windows computer. On a Mac, there is a right click, but it's not really useful as much. But on a Mac, it's not too useful. But on a Windows computer, it's that's what gives you all your options for everything. And from here too, if you have a flash drive, you can go send to, and then you could select your little flash drive there. So if you're looking for an easy way to copy something to a flash drive, you could right-click on the file or folder, and then go send to, and from there, then your little flash drive will be, when it's plugged in, it will be listed in this little menu right here, and it'll say flash drive or whatever it's named, or whatever company provides it. So, let's say that now Microsoft doesn't make it easy to add like icons on here, kind of like the traditional icon set over here that everyone's used to. They don't make it easy. It's actually quite it takes a few steps to get there. My recommendation would be hit the Windows key and then just start typing what you were looking for if you're looking for Word or whatever. That's the easiest way to find something at this point. I could show you how to create icons, but it's I mean, essentially what you have to do is you have to find it on the computer. So, whoop, hello. So we'll go over here, and then we'll go WordPad. It's a process. Then we have to open file location, and then we have to wait for that, and then from there. Okay. Then we have to right-click on that, and then we have to go send to desktop, essentially. But like I said, Windows is getting away from those icons. They don't want you to use icons, so they don't make it easy. So in this case, sadly, the best thing to do is get used to the little start menu a little bit better. So, you would have to send to and desktop. And now we have a little WordPad app there, or the little icon to WordPad. So that brings that up. Any questions on the desktop interface or the desktop view or anything like that? You guys are probably more used to that, I'm guessing, right? Yeah, probably a little bit. If you used any computers before, 3 or 4 years ago, you're probably very used to this type of screen and kind of how it works and that sort of stuff. So, something that, I got a lot of questions about this. I forgot to write this down. To change like your background and stuff like that, once again, the good old right click. If you right click anywhere on the screen, that's going to bring you up with a little thing here that says personalize. And then from there, that's where you can like make a picture your background, or you can do all sorts of fun stuff. What am I doing? Let's see here. Let's find a picture. So then I can go picture library, which is empty apparently. Browse, there we go. So now I'm going to go to this PC, and then pictures, and then 2014, and I'll select something here, hopefully. Okay, no. That's just getting ready for the trip. That's not that exciting. I know, yeah. You're just like hunker down in the living room. Let's see if there's something a little more exciting. Let's try that one. Okay, there we go, cool. So then if we hit save, what it's going to do is every 30 minutes my little background's going to change. So now we're going to have this picture of a piece of wood or something, a rock. So this is a little trail, I guess. But then in 30 minutes, it'll automatically change, which is kind of cool. If you have like a lot of pictures on your computer, you can basically have it cycle through all of the pictures, whether it be in the folder or over the whole computer. So, if you want to look at the grandkids or kids and stuff, you can have them in a little folder and kind of go through there. So, yeah. So I guess let's look at the Mail app now, because I know we got a lot of questions there. So once again, to get from the desktop back to this screen, just hit the Windows key and that will bring you there very quickly. Now I don't have an email account added on here, but maybe I can add mine. Or, we'll see if it's going to let me. Yeah, it's loading. So, okay, there we go. All right. Let's see if I can add my email account really fast. I don't think, that'd probably take forever. I have a lot of emails in there. Trying to think of the best way to do that. Could we, do you have your computer here? No? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we could use it. Okay, who has questions about the Mail app specifically? Okay, so we got a little bit. Can we maybe borrow your computer and just kind of go over it after? Is that okay? Is that cool? Okay, just for a couple minutes. Okay. So we'll look at that. But essentially, within the Mail app, once you get to an email, if you do the right click on the email, then it will bring up that little bar across the bottom. And then from there, you should be able to attach a file. Yep, the right click. I know it gets you every time. The right click is super important. Yeah, that's where everything hides. And Microsoft did a horrible job of telling people that. In this case, when Windows 8 came out, they pretty much said, here you go, have fun. And they didn't, you got your computer and there was a little, trifold thing that said how to turn it on and how to turn it off. And that was pretty much it. And it was frustrating for a lot of people, so it wasn't the most useful. Did anyone have any questions or anything? We're hitting at about an hour, so I can stay a little longer, yeah.
You're using Internet Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have Mozilla Fox?
Yeah. From Internet Explorer? Yeah, good question. Mozilla Firefox is basically just an alternate way to get on the internet. In my other class, I go over like Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. I recommend using those over Internet Explorer, but I didn't want to go over all that today. But essentially, you would just download the app, and from there, it'll import all of your favorites and everything. Just a different way to get on the internet. Same concept. Once again, Microsoft is actually doing away with Internet Explorer in the new operating system. So, but there are still people who are still running Windows XP that still have a really old version of Internet Explorer, and it doesn't work with anything, and so they have to use like Firefox and stuff. So kind of as things progress, Firefox and Google Chrome will probably work better on Windows 8, but then on Windows 10, there's a new one. So, it's just a different way to get online. It's perfectly safe. Firefox and Google Chrome are more secure anyways, but yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
for those of us that have
Uh-huh.
8.1,
Yep.
would you recommend we go out and buy 10? Or they'll be supporting Windows 8?
Oh yeah, you have to like 2024. Yeah, you're playing fine. They're not going to be making like big enhancements and stuff, but they're always going to be doing security patches. It's like, did you guys hear about like when Windows XP was dying, and they're like, well, we're going to support the security patches, but they're not going to make any changes to it? That's pretty much what that was. So they did security patches for Windows XP for like 15 years almost, or like 10 years. And Windows Vista, they're going to do it until I think it's like 2018. Windows 7 is like 2022. I think Windows 8 is 2024, 26 or something. So, I mean, realistically, the computer's going to die before that, just from old age and hardware. So you're probably fine. I mean, let me show you Windows 10, because it's actually pretty cool. So let me jump over to my Mac side of things now. And then we're going to bounce out of that, and then minimize that guy. There we go. And, oh, that's not what I wanted. Let me cancel out some of the stuff that's open. Any other questions while I'm kind of getting this going?
And again,
Mhm.
when my Oracle pops up,
Oh yeah, the Java thing, yeah.
what do I do?
You want that update to go through.
Yeah.
That's a great update to do. If it's not going through, it might make sense to go to Google and then to search for download Java and download the latest version from them directly, and I'll overwrite the one that's in the computer.
Thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have an iPad and an iPhone, so
Mhm.
my calendar on the iPad.
Okay.
I would love to be able to get to my boss's iPhone and do a calendar. Is there something on Windows 8.1 that will do that? Or do I have to have another Mac or another iPad?
So you want to add his Apple Calendar onto your Windows
Well, I want to
computer?
put a calendar onto his Apple phone. Is there a way to do that with 8.1? Will it go to that iPod?
Not native, like no, not easily. I mean, I've gotten it to work, but it's not just an explain 5-second thing. It's yeah. I mean, I would just get a cheap little iPad or something. Or I mean, like I have my calendar. It's through Google, and then I have it on my iPhone and stuff. And Google kind of is a central place to store it. Will allow you to put it anywhere else. So I have my Google Calendar on my iPhone. Yeah, you can do that. Maybe that's the best way to do it. Yeah, in that case, you would have to set up like a Gmail account, and then from there create the calendar, and then you could put it on your iPhone, you could put it on your iPhone, you could put it on your Windows computer, your Mac. You can put a Google Calendar anywhere, and so it's good for kind of being it's good for using Google as kind of the midpoint in the collection for all that stuff. So, yeah. Oh, here's Windows 10. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
That enough about I can put in the text and it doesn't make it to the calendar. So
Yeah, so you just want to be able to input it in, yeah.
yes,
Or, I mean, what calendar is he using? Is he using the Apple one?
I think right now he's using the Apple one. But
Yeah.
I can use the calendar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, iCloud is what the Apple calendar's through. I don't think it talks directly to the Windows stuff. I've never gotten that to work directly without having to finagle it, so it took a little bit of working.
Do I have Word on here and Word
Oh, okay, go to your start screen. Yeah. Okay, so if you're at the screen, go ahead and just start typing WORD. Just start typing. And, okay, so you don't have Microsoft Word, but you have WordPad. So WordPad's kind of like a dumbed-down version of Microsoft Word. If you want, like, Microsoft Word itself, what you'd have to do is you'd have to purchase that. Or they provide it if you were to go to their website and download it and that kind of thing. Formatting is a little bit lame.
Do a document and print it out.
Yeah. Well, you should be able to print it from there. Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, it's just a very slimmed down version. There's none of the formatting. Well, the formatting's like very, very mellow. There's just not much on there. So, but it's perfect for if you're just writing a couple little things here and there, like recipes or whatever. That'd work. Yeah, definitely.
They're actually, with this, that's what really bothered me. If I really wanted like Excel and that, I had to go out and like, I did get Office 365.
Okay, yeah.
Because the stuff in Outlook is nothing like.
The mail app and stuff. Yeah, they don't talk too well.
There's a program called Kingsoft.
Yeah, Kingsoft is a free one, or LibreOffice. Yeah.
It has versions of Word and Excel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a free program.
Oh, really?
Kingsoft Office. Yeah. It's not 100% compatible, but it does a decent job.
It's like this, you know,
So Windows 10 is just loading. The Windows 10 right now, it's still in like a beta form, and so it's really kind of choppy. So it's just taking forever. But essentially, it's pretty cool. If it loads up here, awesome. If it doesn't, I don't know. We'll see. It's moody. So yeah. Any questions with Windows 8 still though, or? Yeah, definitely.
I still have a question about
Yeah.
picture and email.
Okay.
So do I click it and will it say download?
So if you're in your email and you right-click on your email, like where it is, and then there should be the little bar should appear at the bottom, kind of across there, and there should be something to attach a picture. Or the other option.
To my photos.
Yeah.
Send it into my photos.
Oh, okay. So you would right-click on the picture itself and then download or import. I think is what it says. Oh, get loaded. Yay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, or that's the best way to do that. Yeah.
Put it there in order to have,
To view it in the Photos app.
to send it to Walgreens or something to have printed, right?
Yeah. Then well,
I can't do it through email.
no. I mean, if you're doing it on like Walgreens, so someone sent you a picture,
Right.
so you would download it to your computer, and then from there, then you have to go to the Walgreens website and then pop it up into it. So yeah.
But it has to go to my photos.
It has to be in your computer first, but you can't do it directly from someone else's email. So yeah. So here's Windows 10. Same concept. So they actually have a default desktop now. And when we click on the Start button here in the corner, I think it's going to work. We're spinning. We'll let it think. Okay, it's trying. Yeah, Windows 10 is not the most stable yet, but it's getting there. And they actually just released a new version 2 days ago, but I didn't get that version, so I have the older one. But technically, you could download it right now. I would not suggest it. It's a free download at the moment, but you wouldn't want to put it on your computer. It would booger stuff up. So, but it's more for kind of a tech preview, or if you're writing software, you kind of want to know how it works and stuff, or make sure your software is compatible. And oh, come on! All right. I get that question a lot. Yeah, it does. If your computer, oh, there's the start menu. If your computer's plugged in, the question was, does it hurt your computer to be plugged in all the time? Yes, it does. Lithium-ion batteries, they don't have like a memory per se anymore, but they die quicker because they're continuing getting voltage. Some computers aren't smart enough to stop the power from coming in, and so having it plugged in all the time essentially just like keeps the power flowing through. It just wears the battery down quicker. I recommend if you're using it, if you're able to, just unplug it and use it until the battery gets low, then plug it back in. It's good to run it down every once in a while. Yeah.
So it's not just leave it as a documentation?
If you're using it strictly on your desk and you're never moving it, then your battery's irrelevant at that point.
Oh, no, I'm
You take it elsewhere.
traveling too.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to like kill it instantly or anything, but over the years you will see less of battery life. So okay, here's the Windows 10 start screen, and you still have your tiles, but then you kind of have like the traditional menu system on the side there. So it's a little more functional, a little easier. It's going to be a free upgrade for everyone with Windows 8 or Windows 7 for about a year after it comes out, is kind of the theory. They haven't explained how that process is going to happen yet, but supposedly it will. When I decided to do this class, Windows 10 was still kind of like a figment of everyone's imagination. We knew it was coming, but we didn't really know anything about it. And that was about, 3-4 months ago. And then Windows 10 started to become really big and popular in the tech world because they're starting to push it a little more. And it's not available yet, though. But so I'll probably do a Windows 10 class probably later in the year or early next year or something. So it'll be cool. But yeah, I mean, you have your store, your search, your Skype, your whatever. It's all on there, and it all, it just supposedly it's going to work better. So we're hoping so. And you have a little power button up there, which is kind of cool. There's my little finger. Right there. So, yeah. But that's Windows 10. It works pretty well. I didn't play too much around in it, but it seems like it's going to function well. So, and I like the start menu of it. So, I mean, I'm probably going to go to Windows 10 once it's available and stuff. So, that's just where I'm at. So, yeah. Anything else?
Will you have your classes on that email when you send it? Like the different
The schedule kind of thing? Yes. Yeah. And in fact, if you're in my last class, yeah. If you were in my last class, I didn't email that one out yet. I ran into some technical difficulties, but everything survived. Recording's good. But I was able to get all that. And so it's on YouTube right now. I just didn't send the email out. I always wanted to do this class with it. So you'll get that email probably in a couple days. And did my sign-in sheet float around with everyone's email? Okay, it's floating back there. If I run out of room on there, just flip it over, fill it in the back. So, yeah. Yes?
OneDrive.
Oh, yeah, OneDrive. I forgot to cover OneDrive. What am I thinking? I'm sorry. Okay, so OneDrive.
Because I've seen that and I don't know.
Yeah, OneDrive. Okay, so what OneDrive is OneDrive, in a brief overview, it allows you to store files on your computer, and it's also a free backup service that Microsoft provides. So if you have one Windows 8 computer, and you have another Windows 8 computer, and let's say you're both logged into the same account, if you make a file on your computer and you put it in the OneDrive folder, then it will automatically be on his computer too. So it's pretty cool because it allows you to transfer files really easily between computers. Or if, let's say, my computer falls off the desk and completely bursts into flames and the computer dies, I can basically sign into my account on anyone else's computer and all of my files will automatically be there. It's pretty cool. It's in by default. It's there, regardless of if you're using it or not. I'm in Windows 10 now. Let me see if I can jump back to Windows 8. There we go. Oh, no, that's not. Okay, I think it's in Windows 10. Essentially, if you go under any folder, or like under, let's say you're opening a Word document or saving a Word document. You know how where it like lists like documents, pictures, music? You guys know where all that is? It's just going to be a little step below that. There's going to say OneDrive. It's going to be a blue logo. It's always going to be there. I think it's on Windows 10 currently. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see. It's a little cloud. It's the exact same icon on Windows 8. But it says OneDrive right there. And within that, which I don't have set up on this computer correctly, so I don't think it'll let me. But within there, you can create folders, and you can create a documents folder, a music folder, a pictures folder, whatever you want. You can put it in there. And then by default, like I said, it's backed up onto Microsoft's cloud. I think they provide, if you pay for Office 365, they provide up to 1 terabyte of storage, which is a crap ton of storage. 1 terabyte is like 1 gigabyte, for example, will store like 1,000 pictures. Well, let's say like 500 pictures of good, decent quality pictures. So you have 1,000 gigabytes in a terabyte. So I'm not doing the math in my head, but you got a lot of pictures. You got like hundreds of thousands probably. So I mean, a terabyte is a lot of storage. I have every single digital photo I've ever taken in my life from like 2007 to current is like only 400 gigabytes. So if that kind of puts it in perspective, a terabyte is a lot of storage. So, and that's provided free with your subscription to Office 365. So does that answer the OneDrive question? Yeah. But it's a really, really cool service. So yeah, definitely. How do you print? Yeah, within Windows 8. Generally, the right-click menu. It's just, let's say you're in a document or something, or in a picture. If you right-click on it, then it will pop up with a little bar across the bottom, and that should have a print dialog in it. If it doesn't, though, you could always hit your Windows key and then P, or Control P. One of those key combinations will do that for you, and I'll bring up the little print dialog. So, yeah. Anyone else? Oh, my Band-Aid's killing me. Ooh. Any questions? Anything else? I guess if you guys don't have any questions, I guess we're done. Yeah. Did everyone learn something? Okay, all right, good. I know it went by fast. The recording will be sent out, I promise. And you'll be good to go, so cool. Awesome.